Mirrors and Dreams, Book 2 of the Unseen Scar series, written and narrated by C.R. Saxon. Chapter 27. According to this, LB shifted the diagram. We need a piece shaped like a twisted V, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe in the last box? Grinning, Ferdinan held out a box cutter. It didn't seem like so many pieces till we started. Like a puzzle, the pieces will feel overwhelming before they're put together. Ferdinand's stomach didn't growl. It skipped straight to eating his spine. A strange look from his pupil told him he was punching it again. Forcing his hand to his side allowed his stomach's demands to return. I'll feed you after LB's time is up. The young tinkerer laughed. Mismatched eyes disappeared as he dug into the freshly opened box. Suddenly, the boy stopped moving. What's wrong? Ferdinan leaned back against the table, failing to suppress a smile. Climbing out, LB emerged with a box wrapped in shimmery green cloth. What's this? Heat flooded his face and forced Ferdinand's focus to the scattered metal pieces. Thou would say you're an incurably silly child for asking to work on your birthday. Thank you. The now 7-year-old reached out, stopping when he noticed how awkward this was for his mentor, but he still smiled brightly. I thought you didn't celebrate birthdays. You do. Strained silence fell. Unsure what to do or say, Ferdinand tugged at his sleeve. Can I open it? It's yours. Ferdinand's smile returned, but the red grew deeper. These sorts of things were difficult. Will he like it? Will I disappoint him? What was an appropriate gift for a 7-year-old? It was just as difficult as it had been for Yu-Yu's 7th birthday. Yu-Yu. It felt like he'd forgotten about her, aside from a few messages. The first medicine numbed his mind, but what excuse did he have now for not checking on her? There was none. He was a coward. He should face her, but seeing what he did... LB giggled and painstakingly unwrapped the box. The beautiful silk cloth was folded and placed neatly beside the gift. Inside was a screen, one a few inches larger than the most commonly used. Mismatched eyes grew brighter. Thank you! Cold sweat washed over Ferdinan while he waited. LB wasted no time turning on the screen. There was only one program installed. His pupils sucked in a sharp breath. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done this. What was I thinking? I'm sorry. You've been eyeing that program. I thought you'd like to start learning it. That pathetic excuse for an apology, or sentence in general, unleashed LB's tongue. This is wonderful, thank you. I was hoping you'd teach me it. Ah, that was as much an affirmative as a sigh of relief. A rhythmic jarring shook him. Looking down, Ferdinand found he was beating his abdomen again. I've fed you already, and you'll be fed again soon enough. An outside project and the best design software? This week's been amazing. LB beamed at his mentor. Bright red, Ferdinand reached behind him and grabbed the piece LB needed from under the table. Here, you can play with the program instead, though. Torn, LB glanced from the part to his new screen. I don't know. How do I choose? Ferdinand stood, smile dancing on his lips and fist pounding against his stomach. I'll be here for another hour. Then, the machine. I'll read up on the program later. LB gingerly returned the screen to its box, and the two went back to work. When the hour ended, Ferdinand saw LB out, then returned to another dose of medicine and a too-long wait for lunch. It was the strangest thing, walking into Ferdinand's lab and finding him on the floor hugging his legs. The expression on the gent's face he'd never seen from Ferdinan. His suitemates gave it whenever long, hard days lined up with an all-too-late dinner. But not this intense. Beside Ferdinan were half a dozen empty water bottles. I thought he always reused the one. Are you okay? Ferdinand's stomach answered first, turning him bright red. I apologize. I'm just hungry. I have lunch. You can eat sooner if you stay in your suite. No! Ferdinand lashed out, shaking uncontrollably. I won't eat there. Okay. I understand. Backing away, John held out his hands placatingly. Neither did he move until the skeleton relaxed and pulled himself up to the table. There wasn't a chance to properly lay out the meal before Ferdinand grabbed it. For days, meals were eaten without delay or complaint. But this... John poured their drinks before realizing Ferdinand was wolfing down his plate, meat and all. He never eats meat. Part of John was excited until the gagging started, but those bony fingers kept cramming food in. Snatching the plate nearly got him punched in the face. Whoa! Don't eat so fast! John swallowed hard when Ferdinand growled to give the food back. You'll make yourself sick if you don't choke. I'm eating your food like you want. Why take it away? Calm down. This isn't Ferdinan. Don't eat faster than you can handle. The skeleton manhandled his desires as he pushed himself back from the table. He dropped his head to his chest, voice and body shaking. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled. What's going on? Playing with Oya takes a significant amount of energy. True. Taking the smaller plate, John motioned to Ferdinan. Just don't eat so fast. He expected his ally to turn bright red, but instead the gent paled and nodded. Centering himself was difficult. This wasn't a fight he thought he'd have with Ferdinan. I'm surprised you ate the fowl. I've never gotten you to touch it before. Transparent blue crystals tripled in size. The gent ran to his closet. Soon came familiar gagging. Why? Meat will keep him satisfied longer. Letting out a sigh, John took what was left of the cooked bird and switched it with the tempeh steak he prepared. Running water, shuffling, clicking, among other sounds, danced in the closet. The skeleton returned, shaking and bright red. After each bite, Ferdinan sat on his hands. How hungry is he? A couple weeks of easy meals, and now they were difficult in another way. How often should I bring food? Each time Ferdinan put his hands in his lap seemed to take more willpower than the last. Why? He's been eating more. His appetite increases every day, yet he looks skinnier. Should I tell Oya not to be as active around him? But she'll start tormenting my sweetmates again. I can't let him be sent home for failing to maintain his weight. This was another unpleasant thing he had to address. Ferdinan, you were supposed to weigh in a while ago. The extension passed. They want that information. Chewing faster, Ferdinan forced himself to swallow. I'm sorry I made your life more difficult. It's okay. He didn't get angry. The relief this brought. Ferdinan hid his eyes behind shaggy brown hair. I'm not ready now, but in a week. Okay. He didn't argue, just ask for more time. But what'll happen in a week? Still, John didn't want to push things. Flying at any speed she wanted was wonderful. How fast can I go? Oya tested the limits every inch of the trip. Now that her friend had energy again, she was loving playing. She winked at the growing cord of connections wrapped around her hand. After long hours, it was time to meet Ferdinan. However, an unexpected scene greeted her when she arrived. A long streak of dirt attested to Ferdinand skidding a good distance, only to roll before stopping. Now he was huddled in a ball, squeezing his legs so tightly she could see his arms tremble from the effort. Hello! Swooping in, she hovered before his grimacing face. Is he trying to smile? Hello, are you ready to play? Giggles filled the air. His sudden extra energy was welcomed, though strange. Finally seeing him happy, she didn't think he could give an honest smile. And it was more than this. Even his soul was looking better. The dense mass of infection was nearly gone and the bleeding stopped. The gaping hole was still there, but it wasn't getting worse. Though, his soul, it was cloudy. What does that to a soul? Are you ready? Yes. Rolling thunder emanated from his stomach. Yes, let's play. Though he said this, he didn't move, but he was obviously trying. How about a snack first? The trees on the island over are right. No, I don't want to eat. Okay. She pulled him up, but he didn't get very far before jerking back into a crouch. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I don't want anything. Teeth bare and panting, Ferdinan looked more like an animal than a boy. Stop forcing me. I don't need another John. Lips pursed to the side, and delicate fingers tugged at the chain around her neck. Have I ever been like John? Ah! Bony fist pounded his abdomen. Activating his cuffs, he shot off like a rocket. Forget it.